just grinding your ass off one day, like, chilling at home, like just learning your instrument, and then you get famous.
All right, we're in here for.
We in the red?
We're in the red.
Let's
We're
go.
in here for real exciting. Before we get started, though, thank you to Losers and Riley's Duck Line for letting us record in here. But
Absolutely.
I'm in here with Chandler Walters, and man, I'm excited to get to talk to you because you got so much going on.
Dude, I'm excited to talk about it. Life is moving fast, and I'm excited to open up about it. Let's go. It's the first time I really talked about it on a podcast too.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't got a moment to sit down and talk and get to know you. I've met you a couple times, but man, just it seems like in the past few weeks, so much has happened for you. You want to just go ahead and break into it?
Yeah, I mean, within the past couple of weeks, we were able to announce that we're doing a record. So the Cadillac Sessions, it's been slowly releasing. Getting Gone, that song with Ernest and Snoop Dogg, it came out 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week, was Southern Belle by Reese Rutherford. And then last night, actually, was Cody Loden's Taillight Porch Light, Miller Lite Gone.
Yeah.
And my song is coming next week. So it's all happening. And we were also able to announce that I'm going to be opening up for Post this summer on the Big Ass Stadium tour. So I'll be doing First to Four. And yeah, I'll be giving it 20 minutes of hell.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So how did the Cadillac or the what is it, DeVille Records?
Mm-hmm.
How did that all come together?
Yeah. Well, man, Ernest a couple years ago, or I guess last year, approached us talking about a record label. He's saying, "Oh, we're gonna all do music together." And
Yeah.
for me, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm the steel player. I write songs, I don't know about singing them yet. And he was like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And he had, enough faith in me, Cody, and Reese to sign us to a record deal. So it's it's Big Loud and Cadillac Music that we're signed to. And it's over the past little bit, we've been able to make this record. And like, we've really just done what we love to do, like songs that we love to hear and songs that we love to write. And that's why it's really so special to us. It's our first time coming out as artists too, for me and Reese. I know, but Cody has music out, but Ernest is really just putting us on so hard.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg's on the record, Miranda Lambert's on the record.
That's awesome.
Jake Worthington's also on the record. Jake and Ernest are singing Yesterday's Wine.
Oh,
so it's like we're paying homage to, real country music and
right,
the music that inspires us.
Yeah, I tell you, I love it. It sounds like just buddies making music, and that's man, what better place to be?
It ain't nothing more, dude. We're really blessed that we get to have fun and make our music and do it with our best friends in the world.
Yeah,
it's really special.
So you mentioned you started as a steel player.
Mm-hmm.
Who all have you played steel for?
I moved to Nashville. Who all have I played steel for? I played steel for Ernest, and right now I currently am playing for Post Malone. So we're doing that. But it's been a crazy road with the steel since we started, man.
How long have you been playing it?
I bought one. I got the first one when I was 18 years old. So I was looking for a place to live here in Nashville. I just graduated from high school. It was 2021. I decided I'm not going to go to college. And instead of that, I was going to move to Nashville. So I was with this guy named Eamon Owen, who I ended up moving to Nashville with. We would play gigs together at Ned Kelly's in Milledgeville, Georgia. Yeah. We'd just play acoustic gigs, and we'd have so much fun. But we're like, man, we want to take it seriously. Right. So we were up here looking for places to live, and we went to Carter Vintage Guitars, and my man Poncho, who used to work there, he helped me out with the steel. And I was 18 years old. I'm 22 now, so I was 18 then, and he let me sit down with it for like 2 hours that day. And by the end of me playing it, I kind of had a little bit of understanding, and I was like, maybe I could play this thing. So I decided to go buy it, and by the time I got to the counter, my mom had called and bought the steel and like paid for it over the phone as a graduation gift. So it was, and then I went back to Georgia with it, and I never really touched it for a couple months. Moved to Nashville in September of that year, 2021, and that's when I started playing. I learned "Baby Lock Them Doors and Turn Them Lights Down Low." I posted that on TikTok. The first song I learned, I only knew one song, and it went viral overnight, right? And so all of a sudden, like, I have this viral video of me playing a steel guitar that I don't know how to play. And now all of a sudden I'm the steel guy, right? So I learned like a couple other songs, and I'm literally in real time posting on TikTok as I'm learning the songs. Like, you can go back and watch it. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty shitty. Like, you can tell this guy just learned this song. But Ernest had reached out to me from one of those videos and was like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "Anywhere you need me to be, dog." And he ended up messaging, and I was like, "Oh my God," like, I'm texting her, and at this point Flower Shops had just dropped. Yeah, it was like that was 2022, January 2022 when that came out, and it was February where I got on the bus with Ern.
So that's incredible.
A long story I just told you, but that's kind of what's going on. I started playing steel really in like August of 2021.
That is incredible.
I'm really so blessed, man. I really am. And he sent me the whole Flower Shops record, and I didn't leave my room for a month. And every day I woke up at like 9 in the morning, and I freaking learned a song. And I didn't stop until I knew how to play it right. And it was all those Paul Franklin licks. Like, it's real steel playing, man. It's not no like little swells here and there like modern country. No, we're playing like.
Started off.
Yes, we were lit. Yeah, we started off. We started opening up for Chris Lane on the Fill Your Boots or something like that tour, Fill My Boots tour, and we were playing like clubs like the House of Blues and stuff, and that was my first time playing shows like for real. And I got, at that time it was the fellas, it was me, Grady Block, Jordan Merrigan, and Ernest, and I was smoking weed for the first time ever, and I was getting so high, and I was like going and playing these freaking shows for the first time. I'm like, holy shit, we're rock stars. But I remember it was like my first time smoking weed, so I was getting so high every time. I was like, fuck. And that's where the nickname Cheese came from. I would always be just stoned walking around smiling, perma smile. And Rocky Block one day goes, "Cheese," and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that's what we're gonna call you."
That really goes to show, though, how social media has changed. Nashville's always been known as a 10-year town. Now it's a 2-month town. You can really you don't even have to be in Nashville, and you can pop off on social media, and it changes your whole life. You're proof of that.
It really is true, man. And like, one thing to add to that is like, when I first started with Ernest too, like, I just came off of TikTok and like doing that, running that game, and I kind of started playing with them. I stopped doing videos, but who I'd met from that is Bailey Zimmerman. And it was like, I remember it was one of my first shows with Ern. Bailey was opening up for us. It was this festival in California, and Bailey was so young too. Like, I remember we were just both so young. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm opening for y'all." And that started a really long friendship. That was like 3 years ago. And we were able to write a bunch of songs off that for his records, and so many memories with that kid, man. It's just like, we connected off of that, like, hey, we're both coming up right now, like, off TikTok, and we're like, but that's where we initially connected from. Like, we got our start off TikTok. It's crazy, like, where you can just be, just grinding your ass off one day, like, chilling at home, like, just learning your instrument, and then you get famous, or you get a lot of notoriety, like, in 1 second, and then everything changes.
Yeah.
And the people that really have worked for it will stand out, and they'll last their career, man.
Yeah. That's an incredible story, man. So how did you get to know Post and you get to start playing for Post?
Yeah, so I was I was on the road with Ernest, and Ern and I we were writing all these songs together. We'd get up at Big Loud right over there, and
Mm.
we'd get up like 3 times a week at 9 in the morning, and just me and Ern would write songs, bang them out, and so we were like, we're best friends.
Yeah.
That's my guy, and um, our buddy Charlie Handsome, who did the early records for Post, like that Go Flex, the older big hits. Charlie is, he's been such a pivotal role in Morgan Wallen's career, and all the sounds, and he's the track guy, he's the vibe guy. Um, and Post was coming to town to do country music, and Charlie bridged the gap because I had worked with Charlie with Ern, to write Ern songs. And Charlie bridged the gap between us and Post, and he wanted to write some country music, and when you're writing country music, you need a steel guitar. So
Yeah.
I got the call one night. It was like 11:30 p.m. and it was after the CMAs like 2 years ago, and they go, what are you doing? I'm like, none. They're like, pull up to the studio, and they were at Blackbird, and I was like, holy shit, like this is the moment. I brought my steel, ready to go, and it was like, I walked in, and Post, we met, and he's just the nicest dude, and so I set up my steel, and but I came to that session with ideas, so we started writing songs, and we wrote "What Don't Belong to Me" that night, and I tracked the steel on it that night. It was right from the get-go. It was like, oh, we got something special here, because I'd live track the steel for the demos in the room, and then also write the songs with them, which I think was unique. It was I'm so blessed to be included in those rooms, and get asked to come back, and for the friendships that came from those rooms.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many stories to tell, and I guess we can get into them, but like there's like so much just awesomeness that came from those sessions, and like it goes back to just doing music we love and
Right. Yeah.
having fun, dude. That was what the base of it all was.
Yeah. I love it. And now you've been playing steel for Post, and now you're opening up for him. When did you get that news?
Yes, well, it's crazy because I signed this record deal with the Cadillac thing, and it was actually, we have a lot of legendary nights there on the back porch. And is that Dusty with our?
Yeah.
Oh, we got some pigs in a blanket coming. We got some pigs in a blanket coming for us.
Don't mind the noise. We just
Don't
got some
mind.
food incoming. We'll resume talking here shortly.
Welcome to Losers.
Pigs are all they appear to be done in pork rinds. I don't think that's the case.
Oh, those pork rinds are. Oh,
They're wrapped in pork.
oh,
Crispy.
it looks freaking good,
More advertising for losers here if you want some good pigs in a blanket.
dude. Come on,
They look good.
I'll take one. Hey.
All right. Anyway, what was you saying?
Ah, yeah. So, the tour with Post, right?
Mm.
Yes. So, we've had so many fun nights on this back porch out there. And whenever Post is in town, we'll just come and hang out. And this is where we like to drink beers. So,
Yeah.
I talked to him. I was like, I just signed this record deal. Like, sadly, like I can't play steel for you forever. I have to put this record out and kind of work my artist thing. And I guess it was time for that, and he was like, yeah, dude, like, he's like, he believes in me so much, and he's the best guy, really. And I was like, I'm gonna have to like not be in your band forever. And I was like, but it would be sick if we could kind of like do this together for a little bit while we can. I was like, if you need an opener for this summer, like I'm already out there. Out there. And he was so gracious, like, enough to be like, dude, like, you're gonna freaking crush it. And I'm over here like, I don't even have songs out. No, like right now, on this day, I do not have a song out. And he just believes in me so much. And the band and I, we've just been working super hard, and but it all got finalized a couple weeks ago, and I was able to share it with everybody, and I'm so grateful, dude. It's gonna be an awesome summer, and I'm excited to share my music. it's just some real country music, bro. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to talk about Post a little bit. I've been in a couple of those back porch hangs.
Yeah.
And Post gets a bad rap from a lot of the country music world, and it's unfortunate, and I hate it because the first night I met Post, he tapped me on the shoulder as I was walking by. He said, "You probably know this album, huh?" And it was Waylon JD's. I was like, "Man, that's a great album. Deep cut Waylon there." And so we sat there. It was almost over, and I said, "Yeah, Don't Think Twice is one of my favorite recordings on there."
Yeah.
And he had the aux, and the next album he played was Gary Stewart's Greatest Hits. And I was like, "Oh, this is my dude right here."
Right?
And so I was like, "Who's your favorite country artist, Post?" And he said, "Hank Williams."
Yep.
I said, "Well, which song is your favorite?" And he said, "My Son Calls Another Man Daddy."
I was just about to say, "My son calls another man daddy."
And I was like, that's a deep cut too. The man knows country music and he respects country music and
does.
has a reverence for the genre, and I appreciate that so much. And he's, like you said, such a kind, genuine guy. And I think anybody who's listening, if you're one of the naysayers on Post Malone, give him a chance because the dude's incredible.
He did country music. You know, there's a lot of artists that are coming to Nashville and trying to do the country music thing, and he did it the right way. And by that, like, he brought in the writers that are writing country music. You know, even back to Dean Dillon, like he's bringing Dillon in on rights, and the guys who made the sound of country music. It's not like him and his LA friends are just trying to write some stuff that sounds like country. It's like, no, he's coming to Nashville, doing the time. He's putting in the rep and the hours and, including the correct people in town to make great music and great country music. And that is something important to say about how he's doing country music.
Yeah. When he first popped up on the scene, they were doing the Joe Diffie tributes and stuff, and he got up at, I think it was the CMA Awards.
Yeah.
And did John Deere Green and pickup truck. And I made a video about it the next day saying Post Malone might save country music. Because, I mean, here's a guy who didn't have to get up on stage and pay homage to Joe Diffie, but he did. And I got ripped a new one from folks on that one. But, I mean it. He's a great guy, a great artist, and I'm so glad that he's taking a chance on you and giving you this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Man, it's like, and it's taken a second to get to where we are too. Like, there's been so many artists, like, and it's like Zach Bryan, like, freaking like Wyatt Flores, like people in that world that are kind of, they're blowing up from their side of music, which is freaking sick. But what it's really doing is just bringing all eyes to country music at the end of the day. It's bringing more eyes to like what we're doing. And then if us on the back end who are writing the country music songs, writing what's on the radio, if we can kind of just keep on our heads down and keep writing the real country music and, stuff that, again, pays homage to what we love and keep doing music that we love to hear on the back end, people are just going to gravitate towards it because it feels good and they don't know it yet. But like Western swing music, people love the way it feels, but they don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And they're about to get hit with a face full of it on my record. So,
oh man, I'm excited to hear that. I'm a huge Bob Wills fan.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's like, you think about they're just like, they're freaking at like 130 beats per minute, and they're just and the guys are picking their asses off, and the fiddles are going. There's nothing better. Like, that was the original like feel good honky tonk shit. It was that Western swing stuff. It got people dancing. It still does. Like when I play my record, like my swing records on the back porch there, it's like I'll watch the room. It's like it'll go from kind of stagnant, and everybody at least like will be, moving their head.
Yeah.
Some people will get up and dance. It's like they don't even know it, but it's just, it feels good.
Yeah, I got to see Marty Stewart in his Superlatives. Grayson was with me too. They did about a 15-minute version of Milk Cow Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this might be the greatest thing I've ever seen in a concert. Western swing is the greatest. I'm glad to hear you saying that. I'm super excited to hear that.
And the first time I was really introduced to country music, I'll tell you, it's George Strait's Something Special album. It's the same album with the chair, but I remember hearing Dance Time in Texas.
Yeah.
Dance Time Texas, and we're striking it, man. And Paul Franklin's solo on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this instrument? And it was a steel. And that was really what gravitated me towards the steel.
Yeah.
I was hearing that like really fast paced, music, and the guitars are just going nuts, harmonizing with each other and twin fills. I'm like, this is it's so much musicality to it.
Yeah.
And it's an art that doesn't need to get lost.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
To get lost. And, I think it's up to us to keep it going.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's an art that is almost lost. You got guys like Marty and stuff who are still implement it in their sound. But I'm so glad to hear young guys keeping that sound alive. That's awesome, man. That is great.
Yeah, man.
Because it goes so far back. Western swing, I mean, all the way back at the beginning of country music was Western swing was right there, maybe a little bit before, with guys like, I hate bringing his name up, but Spade Cooley and those kind of guys who really brought it to that next level, Bob Wills. Man, that's incredible. For all of you who comment on my stuff all the time, country music is dead. There you go.
It is not dead.
It is not dead.
We're about to arrive on the scene.
Yeah, that's great, man. Bob Wills and Johnny Gimbel and all those guys are smiling down here and that.
It makes me happy, man. It's like, it goes back to just, you got to do what you love.
Yeah.
If you do what you love, then other people will naturally come and they'll love what you do.
Dude, that is great.
Thank you, dude. And I have a friend hopping on it. I can't say who it is yet.
Okay.
But I have a friend hop on it.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. I feel like it's time to, because it has been. Even George kind of coming in the 90s, kind of got away from that sound a little bit. Yeah. It was heavy in the 80s, but he got away from it a little bit in the 90s. It's been a long time.
I know.
A long time coming.
And there's still even with like country music on the rise, how it is, like Zach Top really just taking it there, and he's so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, what a savior right now for country music. But,
for real.
There's still a gap that needs to be filled with some Western swing. There's still a gap. I've gotten to like sprinkle it, around. Like I wrote One More Heartache with Ernest and Dean Dillon. That one more heartache in the day, one more. And like Why Dallas with Ernest and Lucas Nelson, and then that Post one that we did, what is it called? Why can't I'm blanking so hard on it right now. There's so many songs.
Yeah.
But that Post one that we did, it's like we've been able to sprinkle it, in country music a little bit, but it's time for me to just like come out swinging with it. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm so glad to hear you mentioning Dean Dillon's name a few times and Ernest writing with Dean and stuff, because what a talent, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've really gotten the pleasure to write with him a couple times.
Wow.
And every time we're in the room, it's a really special time, and it's like going to church. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have a top 10 songwriters in country music without having Dean Dillon's name up towards the top of that list.
I mean, we're talking about Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah. And the whole Gary Stewart's whole Brotherly Love album that him and Dean did together is one of my favorite albums of all time.
I'm looking for someone to do Brotherly Love with me. I need someone to feature on it with me.
You and Post ought to do it,
dude.
That'd be epic.
A little bit of brotherly love on those sisters tonight. So good. Yeah, dude. That's paying homage to that is really important.
That album is like the soundtrack of my early 20s, man. I had that playing 24/7.
It is so good.
Dean is such a incredible, and I've heard some great stories about Dean that I will not tell publicly. There's some funny stories about him and Gary running together back in the day. They were some wild cats.
It was a different time too, and I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah, me and Mark Wheels talked about that when he come on the podcast. That today, everything, like everywhere you go, you're on camera, and you know that, or somebody's recording or taking pictures. We was out with John Daly at his golf thing the other night, and somebody sent me a message the next morning and said, "Hey, I saw a live stream and you were talking to John Daly. That's cool." I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
so I think that's a big part of it. Like those guys back in the day, they didn't have to worry about that. They could do all the craziness in the world,
I
and
know
but nowadays
you got all these freaking phones and stuff.
yep, that's the bad side of social
It
media.
is the bad side, man. Yeah, phones suck, bro. Could have gotten away with so much shit.
I'm sure y'all still have some pretty wild stories out on the road and stuff.
Man, we keep it tame. We're not like, you can't even be that crazy anymore.
Yeah.
There's no room for it, especially when you're operating at such a high level like this. Yeah, like you really got to be on your shit, and there'll be little moments where life checks up on you, and you're like, okay, all right, let's reel it back in, and
Yeah.
and that's you got to just keep in tune with yourself when you're on the road, and really just keep your head on your shoulders, because it'll go rolling off somewhere if you don't.
Yeah. Well, when can we expect your stuff to start rolling out?
So that song I just played you,
Huh.
it'll be out next week.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be out next week.
I'm gonna push it, brother.
Come on, dude.
I'm gonna push it.
Let's go. Yeah, it'll be out next week, and we're doing the whole Cadillac Sessions comes out. Let's see. It's at the end of the month. It's like at the end of this month, which I have 2 more songs on there that I'm singing. I covered One More Last Chance. On there. Yeah, so I did a cover of that. And then I did this other one called Whatever Happened to Us, which I wrote with Reese. I wrote with Jordan Dawsey, who did Man Made a Bar and some of the big Morgan songs. And then Reese's dad, Rivers Rutherford, which you might know of that name. He wrote Real Good Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And The Way You Look, The Way You Laugh. I mean, Rivers is like my Nashville dad. That's what I call him. It's like he'll invite me over to family dinners. I'll just be sitting at a dinner table with their family. I'm like, this is kind of nice.
That is nice. That's one good thing about Nashville, is there's a lot of camaraderie in this town, and
there really is. With the songwriting world especially too, it's like we're all rooting for each other. We're all hoping your buddy gets the next hit, because like I say, it's like, yo, if Reese or Ern, if Cody wins, it's like we all win. We're all winning together. It's the success. I was talking to Todd Graves about this, Kane's Chicken guy. Todd is one of the best dudes in the world. So successful, and he has a beautiful family, and his life's really amazing and straight on when you look at it. It's like,
great story too.
Great story. He's worked so hard, but he told me one time, he was like, our successes, they're way too big to have for yourself. Life is all about giving to people. It's like you got to share, your successes with everybody. You got to celebrate together, because everything is a win for everybody around you.
Man, that's such a great mentality to have, and a philosophy to live by.
It's too big for ourselves. It's too big. You can't comprehend it by yourself,
Yeah, I've heard, Grayson talk about, and other folks talk about, like the acting industry and other industries are kind of cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the pop industry, I don't know much about it, but country music just doesn't seem to be. There's some here and there.
The writing scene, it's like you gotta have good songs to stay in that circle.
Yeah.
And there's like really good writers who like fall out of it and then like come back in it for for a couple more hits, because they they're hungry again.
Yeah.
But to say, like, you look at Ashley Gorley, like, that guy's in the scene. He's writing right now, surely.
Yeah.
Right now, he's surely writing a song.
Yeah.
And that's why he has, like, I think he just reached, like, over 70 number ones, dude.
That's incredible.
What?
That is awesome.
It's insane to think about. I'm blessed to have my first number one with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that y'all are bringing back some of those older songwriters, too, to write with you guys, like Dean. I'm buddies with a lot of them. Gary Gentry, who wrote The Ride. I was just down in Alabama at the Hall of Fame with Jim McBride, who wrote Chattahoochee and Chasing That Neon Rainbow. And those guys are just good people.
They're great people. And I'll tell you, I wrote a lot of, like, I'm doing a solo record that's going to come out in June. So we're doing this Cadillac record, and then my solo record comes out right before the tour ends. And I'll tell you, I wrote pretty much most of my record with Roger Springer.
Okay.
And Monty Holmes, Monty Holmes wrote like Troubadour for George Strait.
Oh yeah. And Roger Springer actually wrote Where Corn Don't Grow, didn't he? No, that was Mark Springer.
Yeah, that's
Mark Springer. With Roger Murray.
Roger was doing that Mark Chestnut stuff back in the
day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but
I got that confused because there's Mark Allen Springer wrote Where Corn Don't Grow with Roger Murray.
Okay.
But Roger's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah, Roger.
He's a fantastic writer. He wrote Where Corn Don't Grow, obviously, and some Alan Jackson hits. Oh, shoot. Don't Rock the Jukebox.
Yeah.
Some of those tunes. So
yeah, dude.
I love to see you guys, Ernest, you, Post, bringing those guys onto the scene because I know that sometimes those guys feel forgotten. I've talked to some of them who have told me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
that's great.
For us, a big thing about it is, going to the source.
Yeah.
You got to go to the source. Got to drink the real water.
Dude, I think y'all are doing it right. And I'm behind y'all 100%. And I'm going to promote the heck out of your record.
Thank you, man.
And where can people find you?
Well, right now you can find me at Chandler Walters Music on Instagram.
Well, right now you can find us at the Duck Blind.
Yeah, you can find me at Losers. Drinking a Surfside. You can find me at Chandler Walters Music on Instagram, and that'll lead you to my TikTok and everything else. But you can find me on tour this summer with Post Malone.
Yep.
We'll be out there on the Big Ass Stadium tour.
Yeah, you can find those dates everywhere. And Chandler, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us, and I really genuinely am so excited for what you have going on, and
thank you so much.
Can't wait to see your career grow and help in any way that I can. And
thank you.
We're gonna do this again after the tour and see how it went.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, dude.
Well, we appreciate you, brother. Y'all go check out Chandler, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See y'all.